Hello, folks, and welcome. Today, we're going to go over some quick tips for winter. We just got about 3 to 6 inches worth of snow where I'm at, and it's the first big snow event of the year. Salt everywhere, snow everywhere. We're in the Northeast, and for those of you in the North, we were getting a lot of snow. Again, in car washing, there's a lot of newer people. I just want to give you some tips. I came on here to give one tip, and then I realized, okay, there's like 12 other quick tips I want to give you. So the first and most important is snow removal. Look, this is the only chance you get to impress a certain demographic of people who normally don't come into your wash. And if mom and dad are busy and they go to the vacuums and there's snow everywhere and it's just slushy and just mounds of snow in different areas, it's going to be a pain in the neck for everyone involved. So clean your lots properly. Get them as perfectly clean as possible. And the real reason I came on here was talk about this, and adjacent to that is try to get rid of your snow as much as possible and get it out of the way. Get rid of it if you can, or especially get it as far out of the way as possible. Don't get lazy and just kind of move it a little bit out of the way. Now, for those who are brought up into this and been doing this for a while, what happens is you just don't know what the winter's going to be like. 3 years ago was a great snow season for car washing. The past 2 years before that were terrible. Barely any snow at all. You just don't know. What can happen is you get the snow out of the way. Hey, it's going to melt in a couple days. Well, maybe it doesn't. And then the sun gets it and it partially melts, and then it gets super cold and it freezes and it turns to a block of ice. Now you can't do anything. If you didn't move it all the way out of the way, now you're starting to get areas of the lot, and you guys should know what I'm talking about, or in the vacuum area where you can't move it at all. You gotta get out there with a big, giant, heavy, like a spud bar or something to break it all up. It turns into a huge pain in the neck. So get the snow and ice as far away as possible. Clean things right. Move snow all the way out of the way as much as possible, and plan ahead for potentially 3 months of never being able to remove that snow and ice, okay? Don't get lazy on your snow removal. Remember, it's your only chance to make a big impression. If you have the vacuum area super clean, where people can easily get in and out of their cars, don't have to worry about slipping, sliding, and just the mess of snow everywhere, you're going to make a great impression and potentially, and even likely, have that customer for the whole rest of the year. Because again, you might get them on a monthly, right? Do things right. Take advantage of this season. Okay, now a bunch of other super quick tips. Most of you with a modern in-bay have your temperature probes in the bay and outside the bay. If you don't, make sure you put external probes in the bay. You need to know what the temperature is within your bay. In case the door gets stuck or something like that, you need to get an alert on your phone. So a lot of modern equipment has this, but if you have some older machines, automate, get temperature probes in your bay. For in-bay owners, again, we'll talk about tunnels in a minute. A stuck door can ruin everyone's day, and that is typically the number one problem in-bays have for winter. As much as a stuck door could be a pain in the neck and you're out there freezing your butt off trying to fix it, what's worse is everything else breaking in the bay because you didn't even know it was stuck open. Next, family management. Sounds weird to be talking about car washing, but some wise operators I know, they talk to their family. Hey, it's wintertime. I may be working 30 hours a week. I may be working 130 hours this week. It's really wise to let your family and spouses know, like, this season, everything's off the table. Don't plan anything. If you do plan things, just so you know, I might not be able to make it. It's winter. It's the busy season. This is when you have the potential to grab as much customers, as much monthly and loyal people as possible, and carry them throughout the whole year. This can change your whole next 12 months or more. So give them a heads up on that. It's just fair. Next, the little benzomatic things, those little mini torches. Oh, you didn't use them all year? They were sitting in your back room getting wet? Guess what? It doesn't work. So you should have tested them by now, but if not, test them. Always have 2 of everything when it comes to this kind of thing, especially these. Have at least 2. Make sure they work. Because again, if you go last minute, just like snow shovels and snow rakes and everything else, you go to Home Depot and they're out. So you need to get ahead of the curve on this. Same with salt. Next is a snow rake. I'll show you a quick picture of what I'm talking about here. This thing, okay, we used to use this at the dealerships all the time. It's a real soft foam. This is kind of a pet peeve of mine. A lot of tunnel operators complain about all the snow coming off, people coming to their location with a foot of snow in their car. We're not made to take off the snow. Well, I disagree in every single way. They come in to get their car clean their car. You know how easy it is to get the snow off, take that 12 inches down to like an inch or a half inch with these snow rakes I just showed you? It is extremely easy. They're very soft. They don't harm the car. Plop it on there, pull it off, you pull the snow off. You're going to have some labor ready to do this. This is your job. This is the reason they came to your location, was to get the snow off the car. Okay, they want to be able to see through their windows. They want to feel safe and clean in a nice car. And while I thought nobody does this, but if you look at the message boards, why, it seems like most of your competition are going to turn away. Good for them and good for you. They're there to get the car clean. The customer is. Let's get the car clean. Have some extra labor on hand. Get the car clean. This isn't a big deal. This is your job. Again, don't agree? Awesome. The people who do agree are going to take your business. Invest in a half a dozen of these and have some labor out there. Get in the car, getting the snow off the car before they even get to the pay stations or between the pay stations and the tunnel. Easy breezy. Make it happen. Next, on call. If you have a good work culture, this is where you have great relationships with your employees. Let them know, hey, we're going to get some days here where it's going to be perfect. It's going to be 40 degrees, sunny, there's salt all over the cars, and we're going to do 5 to 8 times the volume we normally do. If you have some friends or family, set that up ahead of time. Let them know, hey, we're going to pay cash. We're going to pay $10, $15, whatever, an hour cash. Just hand them cash. Check your local tax laws. Usually there's a certain amount of cash you can hand out in this regard for temp employees. Every state is different, but this is a strategy you need to have in place. So when that day comes, everybody's making phone calls, shooting out texts, and you got some extra labor there. Next, coach your employees on how to layer. Have extra clothes. Tell them to bring extra clothes, extra coat. Things are going to get wet. And then have a little drying area. Some people use the boiler or a part of the back room that's really nice and dry because you're going to be sending gloves there, outer layers there. As things get wet, they can dry it off. It's going to be nice and toasty. They come in an hour later and change. Think ahead of time. They're going to be out there a long time depending on your temperature. We need to keep them warm and dry. Strategize a bit about the loader. It depends on your location. So I've been at locations where the loader and the salesperson switch on and off a little bit, and that might make sense in certain seasons. It certainly doesn't make sense in the winter. If your loader is getting soaked all day, but it's a fairly warm loading area, then he's going to be soaked for 8, 10, 12, 14 hours, right? Part of the gig. But he's not freezing to death. I've been at locations where, hey, why don't you go out and help sell? No, don't have him go out and sell. You could have the salesperson come in and help load, but the loader needs to load and go home. There's only 2 things he needs to do, or take a break and then load and go home. The loader's going to be wet. It's freezing out. Keep in mind how to keep that poor person healthy, okay? Don't throw them out in the cold after they've been soaking wet. Next, another strategy for tunnels is to have a low pressure heated water line. This can work well with a couple things. A, getting the snow off the car before they even get in the tunnel. If your hose is long enough, it can also help heat the windshield up a bit. So when a customer pulls in, depending on the wind, depending on your tunnel, it'll help keep the fog and keep the windshield from fogging up as they enter the tunnel. A lot of people have a lot of heat right there. It's freezing. They come in, the windshield's whoosh. If you warm up that windshield a little bit, it keeps the line going. The operator of the vehicle is able to see the loader's commands. You may not think this is a big deal, but when you're running, more cars an hour than you ever have, and you're stretching that tunnel to its absolute limit, then it's something to keep in mind. Next, and this could be controversial, have a nice dead blow hammer on hand. What we used to do, and people think this is crazy, but it actually works really well. You walk out with a dead blow hammer. I'm going to knock some of this ice off your wheel well or running board. Is that okay? Just let the customer know. They're usually going to okay it. You give it a little bang with a dead blow. It doesn't hurt the car at all. If you hit it right and you know what you're doing, it takes a little practice. You just tap the running board. Boom, everything falls off. Tap the actual block of ice in the wheel well by the mud flap. Boom, everything falls off. And then someone's going to shovel it away. You know how much easier it is to load. 2 things happen there. The loader doesn't have to worry about trying to cut that if people are trying to prep. And the other thing is it comes out the other side super clean. And all it took was a little tap or a medium tap from a dead blow hammer to get all that out. It really depends on the temperature, how much of a block of ice it is, but you're just getting so much road gunk, ice, everything out of the car with a tap compared to working on it for 15 minutes with a prep gun or not working on it and it comes out the other side with all that ice and stuff still under there and the customer's like, you don't even have to deal with it. Just tap it with a dead blow. Again, typically just hit the running board, boom, everything pops off. Next, it's a 2-part. Salt everything and tell everybody to slow down a bit. I'm a runner. If things are busy, I'm running everywhere. But there's been a time or two, run around a corner, and there's some ice there, and I go flying and fall down drastically. catastrophic. So make sure you salt areas, even if you don't think people are going to be there. If your employees potentially might be in an area, just potentially going from one side of the tunnel to the other, around the building to check on a claim or whatever it is, make sure everything's salted. Keep an eye on things. This is why you need extra labor for these busy days. You need someone just to think, how can I help improve the flow of the site? How can I help make things more efficient? Talk to customers never been here, make everybody more comfortable, keep everybody warm. You need to have a real leader here keeping an eye on stuff. And true leaders, or someone in an organization, don't have to be a leader, needs to just step back and watch what's going on in these busy days. Certain people at sites should not have their job. Their job is just to kick back, relax, and watch everything, and then fill in all those gaps that no one sees because everybody's so busy. You should get what I'm saying. Last little tip is you may need some radiant heaters in your back room in certain areas. You might have windows and stuff in weird areas by water, and it could get really cold at night and nothing's operating. So keep in mind some plug-in radiant heaters to keep those super cold areas with water warmer. It's not worth the chance. This is super car wash specific. And another thing about coaching the labor, they need to know as well, these busy days, you might have weeks where you're going to have to come in the middle of the night, maintain the equipment. Obviously, all of you should be doing a ghost test car and a real test car every single morning, well before you open. Even more so if you're shut down for a couple days due to weather, because machines need exercise. And when they don't run all night and all your chemicals aren't pumping, you need to run a couple test cars without a car and then a test car too with a car. You need to check everything. I'm surprised of how many tunnels do not do this. This is crazy. It should be done every single day, but especially in the winter because so much is riding on everything working right. So don't cut corners. I came on here just to talk about snow removal. Here's like 14, 15 tips for you. I missed a bunch because I thought about this for like 3 minutes. So throw your tips in the comments below, and maybe I'll do a part 2. In the meantime, make the vacuum areas really nice. Get your snow all the way out of the way. Have fun. Wash some cars. Have a great day. And flyer to everyone. This is the only chance you get for a large demographic. Everybody needs to know what you have going on. Talk to you soon.